Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Now, probably an hour ago, I guess it would be, I looked at my smart device when I first threw it in my pocket here, and I saw on the bottom of the screen when I was scrolling around, it said Winnipeg temperature or something like that, extreme cold. And oh, there goes the school bus again. I didn't time it. Anyway, yeah, where was I here? So anyway, I looked at the thermometer. That I've got one of those clocks in my computer room, and because that's where I was at the time. And I looked at the temperature, and it said minus 29 point something Celsius. Now, right now, we've warmed up to minus 26. Oh, 26.2. Well, that 0.2, that makes a difference if you're out there in your bathing suit. Okay, where are we going with it? We're starting to get silly here. What are we going to do today? Well, we're going to take the masking tape off of this. So I did come back to the model table last night, and I did do the second coat. However, I didn't push record, so we're not going to see that. But we'll take the masking tape off, and we'll move in and have a little look at it here and see the blotchiness. And but it's going to be all right, because most of this is going to be, or a lot of this is going to be covered with detail anyway. So the detail is going to take away from the fact that the deck is a little bit weathered. All right here. One more thing I was going to mention. I had been thinking of, and I don't know if I'm going to do it today or not, but I was thinking of making a sort of, we might call it a bracket or something. It'd be just sort of an L-shaped thing for this, so that it would come down and then always keep this thing horizontal the way you see it right now, or maybe you might say vertical. The reason being is because the joystick on the back here, if I have it like this, better be careful with my cord here. If I have it like this off to the side, if I want to move the pointer on the screen to the right, I have to actually move the joystick up, and it's kind of confusing. So if I can keep everything in the right orientation, it makes it a lot easier to navigate around on the screen on the monitor, which you can't see right now because it's over there. I like to get it out of the way in the morning because people like to look out the window. Yeah, I like to look out the window too. Okay, I think we should just recompose here and sort of continue on. Like I said, we had a sunrise this morning. Yeah. It wasn't spectacular, but you could at least see it break the horizon. And you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to dub it in right now. It'll be real quick, maybe 10 seconds. That's about it. Okay, I think we're probably safe to take our rubber band off now. These little pieces are probably glued on as good as they're going to get, right? And we'll get rid of our masking tape. Maybe I'll reposition for that. Okay, a few moments ago I was setting up to take this shot, and I see that I've broken off one of our little hose reels here, and I did notice that one was missing, and I looked around for it and I couldn't find it, but it was actually sitting over here on the table. Anyway, also I noticed when I looked out the front window that I was getting a delivery, and it is something that is model related, but it's more camera related than anything. Okay, now how is this going to work out here? Oh, that came out pretty good. I was expecting possibly we were going to have bleeding down the sides. Okay, let's turn this around here if we can very carefully and try and do the other side now. Yeah, that's all right as well. Okay, get this tape unstuck from my fingers. Okay, I got a little bit of something going on right there. What's this on my tweezer now? No, I think I mentioned that this is the first time that I've ever done masking on the inside of the splinter rail, so this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Oh, so far so good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that as well. Okay. Okay, I want to try an experiment here. And this may not work as hoped, but we're going to give it a try. My thinking is, if I was to hold this thing in place, like you can see the marks here where it's supposed to go on the side. If I could hold it in self-locking tweezers up against the side until the glue cured. Now I'll probably have to repaint this because I'm undoubtedly going to scratch it with a tweezer. Okay, now that's going to be a little bit too high. Let's see if we could just gently adjust this now. Yeah, that's going to be just a smidgen too high. If I could raise the back of the tweezer maybe. Or maybe if I was to raise this up just a little bit. I'm going to find something just exactly the right height. We'll see if we can't just, hold it in like this. At least that's the plan. Okay, just let me sort of recompose here a little bit. Okay, I think I've got it here. Now, by using 4 thicknesses of card, that seems to raise the deck up just about the right height here. And the idea is to be able to get this piece in exactly the right place, like that. And then I can take my hands away and it stays steady. Now, right about this time I usually say, let's slip on the macro lens. But believe it or not, that's what the courier driver dropped off at my door, a macro lens. And I think I have a lot of explaining to do here. Now, I am really surprised that they did not repack this. Yeah, it came just the way you see it. It's been really scuffed around. It's almost like they dragged it behind the truck. But it does appear that I do believe this is what you might call factory sealed, so I guess we'll know when we open it up on the inside. But, I'm thinking that I better just move some of this stuff out of the way here before I break another one of these things off. So just let me recompose a little bit, and then we'll take a look, and I'll explain why it is I got another macro lens. I guess this is a pouch that I will never use. Oh, so far everything's looking like it's not something that was returned by somebody. Oh, it's still cold. Better let it warm up a little bit. Okay. This is the Z mount version of this lens right here. Feels quite a bit lighter. Well, the reason it's lighter is because this old lens, oh, by the way, this old lens, I bought this, it's almost 9 years ago. And for the first, I'm guessing, 5 years of its life, the autofocusing worked really, really well. I remember when I copied all my slides, my colored slides, and the autofocusing was just superb on the adapter that I made up to. It would actually focus right on the emulsion of each slide individually before I snapped the picture, and yeah, it was fantastic. And then it started to, you might say, kind of jam, and then it kind of stopped working, the autofocusing. Now I did get, at least 5 years out of it, maybe more. But I use the autofocusing, like the lens that's on the camera right now. I use the autofocusing, you might say, every single time before I shoot. I use the autofocusing, and so I can't do that with this lens, and I kind of miss that. And not only that, the new version, the new Z mount, is a little bit sharper, at least from what I've been able to read, and on YouTube, people that have been using this. This new lens, I think it's only been out about a year. I'm not sure. It hasn't been out that long. Anyway, I'm just curious. I'm gonna get my scale here. I want to see what the difference is in weight, because I can feel a difference. Not that that's gonna make a huge difference to the way the camera works or anything, but and I do have plans for this. So let me get my scale. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm hoping you can read it. Oh yeah, I should be able to read that. Okay, it's going to be in grams. Okay, so this is the old one. 909. Yeah, it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit lighter. Well, to me, that's a bit of a bonus because I always found that this lens was a little bit, you might say, front heavy. Okay. Um, yeah, I think I've explained why I got this. I mean, mainly for the autofocusing, and secondly because it's sharper. Okay, we have our new lens on right now. And I know there's people looking at this and they're thinking, Ron, don't want to hurt your feelings, but that's not good at all. Okay, let's press the autofocus here and see what happens. Okay, you can see those two little marks where the hose reel is supposed to attach. It's pinpoint focused right now on the one on the left. Now, you're going to notice that the porthole way off to the right and off to the left are a little bit blurry. You've often heard me talk about stopping the lens down to increase the depth of field. Well, that's what I'm going to do right now. Right now the lens is wide open. So I'm going to stop it down here for you camera buffs. I'll just read out loud what I'm seeing on the screen. Okay, right now it's wide open at 4.5, f4.5. Okay, 7.1, 10, 16, 22, 32, 45, and 51. Now, you should have noticed that the depth of field increased. In other words, what was off to the left and the right is now much more sharper. However, the ISO is cranked right up to 5,000. So I'm going to turn on the spotlight here. All right, I think that's going to be better. Now, the whole idea here is we had wanted to, just let me get my remote out of the way here. I'm going to try not to get my fingers in your way. Now, I had wanted to have this positioned something like that. It's maybe a little bit too... Okay, I want it to stay there all by itself. Okay, I took my hands off it. It appears that it's there all by itself. Oh, I just looked at the monitor. It's too high. So I've either got to raise the deck here or lower this thing somehow. Maybe the easiest thing would be to put a little piece of paper or something under the back of the tweezer. Let me just check the monitor. Okay, something like that is pretty much perfect. I'm just going to readjust everything here and then we'll put the glue on. Okay, now I don't want too much on my applicator. Let it run down there. I wonder if I should put some more on. Or will I be a moron? Now, if there was some way I could just sort of press the... I don't know, maybe we'll just leave that for a few minutes. And how am I going to be able to release this thing without, without accidentally breaking it off? Because the tweezer is squeezing on there pretty hard. It's not stuck on there. Maybe if when I squeeze the tweezer, if I sort of push in on it at the same time, if you know what I mean, then I won't be going to break it off. Well, I guess I'll know in a few minutes. Just give it a touch more here. Probably about 5 minutes has passed here. And I'm wondering if I was to put a pin all the way down here and sort of stick it in the paper underneath, and then okay, now if I was to gotta try and get this just right here. Okay, now if I just get the end of my finger on the end of that pin. Whoops, I bumped it. Now I'm going to put pressure on the reel. I'm going to press it in against the side and release. Okay, I think that worked. Okay, now am I living dangerously here by pressing in on this? Just want to see if it seems to ooze itself. No, I think that all the melding that's going to be done is done. Okay, now if I could put some sort of a little safety hoop around this somehow so that I don't break it off again. We did not get too much done here today. What I did do though is I got the old macro lens all packaged up in its original box and everything from 9 years ago. Well, it'll be 9 years in 3 months. So almost 9 years ago. Okay, and as I mentioned, I've got plans for it. I know a guy who's got a D810 that this should work pretty good with. Okay, now, 1 minute after 2. I probably could get at it and do just a little bit more here. We got some little pieces to try and fasten on the sides here, but I want to call it quits. There's something else I want to do this afternoon besides play with this, although really there's not much use because it's just like using this one actually. It's just that it works better for me. You are not going to notice any difference. I will notice a difference. Okay, thanks for watching everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.